Hi, welcome back. My name is Mukesh Sharma and you are watching U Talks. We are talking about the 22 pressure management solutions for how to perform under the pressure. So, last time we have talked about in episode number 10 the pressure management solutions from number 11 to 16, and today we are going to talk about the final segment of pressure management solution from number 17 to 22. So just let's imagine that what we have done in the last three episodes. So we talked in episode 8 about the befriending the moment, creating and understanding that each opportunity could be one of the multiple opportunities. We talked about downsizing the importance, focus on the mission, anticipate the unexpected. We also talked in the episode 9 recognizing that you are worthy, recalling you at your best, using your positive GPS system, and staying in the moment and being a control freak. The reason I'm talking and revising this because these are very very important. If you can memorize it, if you can use it in multiple situations, it will really make a lot of difference. And in last episode we talked about carrying a pressure tune. We talked about how do you create analogies in the real pressure situations to ease yourself down or calm yourself down, and also creating baby pressure situations to train yourself to perform in high pressure using squeezing techniques, squeezing the left hand ball so that your right brain can start working properly and releasing that extra blood into that. Writing pressure off, an important way to understand the source of the incoming pressure very clearly, and putting away your all self-consciousness so that you can perform at your best. So these were the 16 pressure solutions we talked about in last three episodes, which are 8 and 9 and 10. Today we are going to talk about the final segment, very important segment, which is meditate, have a pre-routine, speed kills, breathe naturally, your first advantage, and sharing pressure. So let's first of all understand what is meditate. I think most of the Indian people, they understand different techniques of meditation through yoga or through different philosophies they have been practicing. And also now meditation is not a new word because even the whole Western world and whole world understand the meditation. But the most important thing which I learned while reading is that the researchers found that the meditation training altered for the better the white matter that connects the anterior cingulate cortex. Now that's a very complex word. Anterior cingulate cortex ACC to the other structures in the brain. In other words, after meditating training, your ACC is able to regulate your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors. So this is something justified and probably tested in the research as well, and that it says that the meditation helps a lot. The other important thing it also talks about is that meditation should contain your three important things. One is relaxation, that how do you relax your body, your mind, your soul by different techniques, and you can go and refer to a lot of meditation videos in the YouTubes, and different yoga gurus and many gurus are actually teaching it. So one is relaxation. Second is mental imagery, which says that mentally imagining a set of things. So there's a different process to it, but yes, you can imagine yourself succeeding, or you're imagining your body from the head to the toe, increasing your concentration power, imagining you're in a very wide field where the water is falling. And there are many meditation videos, audios on the YouTube which helps you to be in the moment and bringing you more closer, and mental imagery becomes a very important part. The third thing it says is mindfulness. Now it's a whole topic in itself. We cannot probably expand into this much, but it says that the meditation they talk about contains relaxation, mental imagery, and mindfulness. Mindfulness, you can briefly describe that it is again staying in the moment, being aware of what you are doing, and staying focused on the task in the hand. So meditation overall increases the ACC, which they called the technical word anterior cingulate cortex, and it connects the white matter and it starts behaving better, so you can control your thoughts, emotions, and behavior much more carefully. Then the second is having a pre-routine. Now it's an important point. See, having a pre-routine means when you are going for a pressure situation in whatever form, you always follow a routine. Someone would be waking up at 6:30 a.m. in the morning, going for his exercises or running or whatever makes him feel better, taking a cup of tea, having a chat with your mom or dad, or maybe your wife, or maybe watching maybe one of the most important YouTube videos, if you're following some some important channel, probably clicking that away and coming into a routine which you tell yourself that yes, you are now set to go for your day, and then you will behave, or you will take the action to your the full. So I think those kind of things you have to prepare a pre-routine. So those pre-routines have to be quite compulsive and obsessive, so that you make sure that you excel in that situation. The book offers a very important insight that be careful that a pre-routine does not mean it is a ritual, because rituals are more hollow and they do not help you much. But a routine is a mindful way to get into your ideal psychological and physiological position to deliver your best effort on that day. And it also suggests a process as well, which says some guidelines that the routine should be relatively short. It should be 3 to 5 minutes. You should not be probably spending too much time, but yes, it could be divided into small segments. And if something you have specifically created for yourself before you enter into a high pressure situation, like you are going for a board meeting with your CEO or with your shareholders, then how do you do something which will bring you into that routine? It should be done immediately prior to a high situation, if you can really extend to that. And it should include a mental component, like reviewing your key points, analyzing your some selection, or contemplating how you will perform there. It should also include your physical component as well, like breathing deeply and releasing and inhaling and exhaling. It should also deal with your kinesthetic imagery. I like this word a lot, kinesthetic imagery, like visualizing yourself performing at your best. So I think these three things: your mental component, your physical component, kinesthetic energy, to be visualized the most important way to be in a pre-routine of 3 to 5 minutes when you enter into a high physical energy situation. And then we talk about the next one, which is the speed kills. Yes, speed might thrills, but speed also kills. And here they talk about that when you are encountering a high pressure situation where your response is needed immediately. For example, if you see an email coming from your boss or from your peers or colleagues, or maybe your customer, and it requires an immediate response, and probably that email has really hurt you, or probably any kind of explanation which is being required from you requires more of a thoughtful, more of a measured response, but you are getting urged to respond it too quickly, then slow down. And I recall one of my friend who taught me a few things which I understood very carefully in the area of art of living. He conducted a course for us, and he always used to say, slow down. So in those situations, you have to really slow down. And they say in the book, 24-hour rule. If you can probably control your response in those high pressure situations for 24 hours, knowing that not everything is urgent, not everything it requires is so compulsively urgent that you have to really respond it now. If you can do that and choose not to make a decision or your response immediately, then really it helps. So the next one which they talk about is your first advantage. Now this is an important one. Sorry, I have missed. I will talk about breathe naturally. So breathe naturally, which talks about is that it is also again related to one of the meditative areas, but regulating your breathing is important, because, and they tell many practices, probably in our Indian philosophy we use yoga, where you inhale for 4 seconds, you breathe, hold the breathe for 4 seconds, then exhale for 4 seconds, and then be completely breathless and empty with any breath for another 4 seconds. So in 16 seconds you do this one round. So in a 60 second you are around 3.5 rounds. So what it says practically is that it actually allows you to calm down, and they refer a word very peculiarly in this, is called the ANS, and it says that it allows you to regain your feelings of control, so that you can reduce your anxiety and overcome the sense that the situation is slipping away. So body functions such as heart rate, body temperature, breathing, blinking, digestions are all controlled by this ANS. So ANS is your automatic nervous system. So it says that regulating your breathing controls your automatic nervous system to respond properly and in a better way. So that's why breathing becomes a very important thing, and it is more of a daily exercise or daily routine you have to set in, so that you do not lose control on your breathing when you found yourself in any kind of a high pressure situations. So let's come back again to your first advantage. What it says is, so your first advantage means that it's saying like go first. And why it go first? He says that whenever you go into a competitive situation, you always say that if there are 10 competitors standing, and if someone asks, hey, go, who is the first person who want to go and try his luck or try his action the first, you should always raise your hand to go first, because it says that if you are going first, then it puts the pressure on the other people rather than you. And it takes a very good example that, if you are taking a 10 best of 10 foul shooting contest with your kids, for example, if you go first and make the shot, your son has to make his shot just to tie. If you miss your first shot, your son still has to make his shot to go ahead. He's thinking, and I have got to make this. The condition of going second intensifies the pressure. So that's why whenever we have these pressure situations or even in knockout matches, they always say win the toss and bat first. Go first. Going first always puts the other team into the maximum intensifying pressure rather than you. But they also put a caveat that this technique can only be applied if you are trying this on tried and tested actions. If you are trying to do something novel, it's sometimes better to wait and see what others are doing and then frame your response. So it's a balance you have to do, but in most of the situations, if you get a chance, go first. Yes, so now we are to do the last and 22nd pressure solution, which I found it very important, which generally we do not do so often, is sharing pressure. Now, what does sharing pressure mean? Sharing pressure means that you share pressure. Yes, so it is so as simple. You share pressure to your colleagues, you share pressure with your peers, you share pressure with your boss, you share pressure with your family, your wife, maybe, if your kids are grown up, you probably even share with them. It's all about saying that you are not alone responsible for everything which needs to happen. It's about telling them that you are also equal stakeholders. And I have some of the personal examples where when you are into some business situations, you have to talk to your team, you have to talk to your boss and say that, this is the situation we are in, this is the multiple steps which we are going to take, and you distribute the pressure equally on all of them so that you're not, choking. You might not win every deal, you might not come out successfully as flying color from everything, but at least you don't choke. So to avoid choking, which we discussed in the previous episodes, you have to share the pressure, and sharing pressure also eases you down, it calms you down. Even the expression of that I am under pressure is also important, because it also cools and eases you down. The most important line which I learned in this concept was, there is no shame in feeling pressure, but if you don't share your pressure, there is a good chance the pressure will shame you. So I think this sums a very important thing, that these 22 pressure techniques which we talked about are very important. If you can really watch this episode 11, 10, 9 and 8 carefully, and can follow these 22 techniques and use these techniques in your personal life, I'm pretty sure it is going to really help. I know that it is not easy whenever some pressure situation comes. Whatever your top 5 solution comes to your mind, you should try to exercise. You might carry a pressure tune, which I use generally. You might breathe naturally, and you might visualize recalling at your best. Also downsizing the importance of something, that it's not only the opportunity you have, it is only one of those multiple opportunities. Befriending the moment. So I think there are multiple things in these 22 pressure solutions which you will find very effective. And if you can map your brain mentally, if you can memorize all these 22 solutions, I'm pretty sure that it is going to help you. So I hope you enjoyed this whole episode on 11 episodes on how to perform under pressure, in which we talked in the first 7 episodes the difference between stress and pressure, and a lot of technical items we talked about. And in the last 4 episodes, we talked about the 22 pressure management solutions. But the point now we have to see is that these all are proximate solutions, which are like short-term solutions which can help you to manage the situation. But now the part 3 of this whole book is, how do you really come out as a winner in a long term? And it talks about 4 important elements which we are going to cover in our next couple of episodes. Is called the COTE. It's called COTE, which we will explain in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching, and do subscribe U Talks on YouTube or on Facebook or wherever you're watching. Thank you so much for giving your time.